Tabik, bring it up to the sky. Bring it high. Okay, can I take this? Hello, everybody. I was born in Iraq. I belonged in Iraq. All the pieces of the puzzle we call life were in their place in Iraq. My family, my future, and my view of the greater world all fit on that puzzle. All the pieces of the puzzle were in a place and were familiar to me. I belonged. If you asked how long my family has been in Iraq, I would probably say forever. It is so odd to me that people in the United States know when their parents or their grandparents came here and where they came from. Because in Iraq, we do not come from another place. We come from Iraq. But the puzzle of life with all the pieces neatly in a place got broken apart. Not only did the puzzle messed up, but some of the pieces got lost. In Iraq, I lost my belief that we could put things back together. I grew up when things were starting to come apart. I was not an activist, not a political. Yet, twice I found myself with a gun to my head. Also, my 15-year-old cousin got killed, and my dear neighbor was shot on his doorstep just for saying his opinion. Sad and heartbreaking. I was fortunate. I was able to attend medical school in Egypt and be out of the country. While in school, I met my future wife, beautiful Jamila, who is from Syria, by the way, another war-torn country. Some of my family had been granted refugee status and lived in the US. Soon after my marriage, I was granted a visa to visit the US. Even though my wife could not travel with me on that visa, we decided that I should go and try my best to bring her to the US. I had to leave my new wife in Egypt. Yes, I did that because my home in Iraq was no longer where I belonged. When I came here, I started in California, spent some time in New York, but somehow ended up in Massachusetts. I applied for asylum. My case took me more than 2 years. Meanwhile, my wife had to return to Syria as nobody left for her in Egypt after her father died there. I worried. As soon as my asylum was granted, I filed for her to get permission to join me. Another period of waiting and worrying began. I moved from Worcester to Lynn when I met my roommate, Ziad, another Iraqi doctor. Both of us scraped by financially while we studied for the medical exams needed to become licensed doctors in the US. Ziad had become connected to LEXRAP, Lexington Refugee Assistance Program, and they found us a small apartment with the Worth family in Bedford. We slept in twin beds in a shared room, but we could study. It was so much quieter than Lynn. Ziad says the best place in America must be right here. Then, after 2 years or more of being in the US, I received the good news that Jamila could join me. I knew I must go get her. I filed for her, I filed a petition, and then after the petition, it took us for about like another 9 months or so. So in total, it was about 3 years. 3 years of separation. I went, after the 3 years of separation, I went to get my wife. My friends here were very worried about me traveling to the Middle East. Jamila couldn't cross the border into Lebanon unless she had 2,000 US dollars on her person. But you can't get US dollars in Syria. Another obstacle. Anyway, Lebanese taxi drivers keep an envelope under their seat and go into Syria and pick up a passenger and then hand them the envelope to cross the border. Of course, the taxi ride costs a premium. As each obstacle was crossed, I emailed back home to the US. Yes, the US had become home for me. I am the one who first called Lexrap a tribe. We come from Iraq, Syria, Uganda, Egypt, Rwanda, and of course, the mismatch of Americans who come from all over. We are Muslim, Sunni, and Shia, and don't worry about that. We are Jewish, Christians, and Unitarian. I haven't figured that one out yet. Believe me, we are in each other's lives. When Jamila and I arrived in Boston, we had to go through Homeland Security. The man looked at me and then at Jamila's passport. He said, "You are from Iraq and she is from Syria." I nodded. He said, "So you have a mixed marriage?" I was puzzled and he was smiling. Then he said, "At least, are you both Sunni or Shia?" I said, "Oh my God, I am Muslim Shia and she is Muslim Sunni, but our children will be American." He said, "Welcome to the United States." In January, our daughter Nadia was born. She has brought us so much joy and love. Now, all the pieces of the puzzle are here. We are so happy to be living here in Lexington, surrounded by people who make us feel like we belong. Now, I feel that I have come home again. Thank you.